And there's a couple of things that happened even yesterday that we also have to talk about today. Starting with our boy Neymar. It looks
Ish.
like he's suffered an injury. I don't know. They say he's gonna be out for maybe the rest of the group games, and he's probably gonna be back in the quarterfinals. And you see that angle, that doesn't look good, but I think he probably can play. What do you think?
The reports that I saw were that he is going to miss the next game against Switzerland, but after that he should be good. But man, Neymar would be a very massive loss for Brazil because, as we all know, the kid is a baller, complete total baller, and is very crucial to that side as far as creativity is concerned, especially the position where he is playing. He's releasing Vinicius on the left, and he is creating opportunities for Richarlison, and he is also a goal threat, so he'll be a massive miss. If he is not going to play in the group stages, I can see Brazil coping with the teams that they have to face without him. But after that, when the games really are tough, when you get those tough opponents in the round of 16 quarterfinals, they will definitely need him. So I hope, for the sake of just football in general, I hope he'll be fine.
I heard he's back in Paris for 1 or 2 nights of partying, and he'll probably be back in time for the quarterfinals. So, Godspeed, Neymar.
Party.
Yeah.
Not rehabilitation, partying.
Yeah.
Who told you that?
My sources. I have my sources just like you do yours.
It's the fakest football pundit we've ever heard out here.
Well, moving on to the next story, we have the other teammate of his that was shining in the same match that Neymar got injured. I've always thought Richarlison was good for Brazil. I heard people actually asking why he was on there before he scored the 2 goals, and I guess he responded promptly as to why he was on the field. The kid was just phenomenal. Eye for goal.
That is true, but you see, I understand people who had doubts about Richarlison because they know Richarlison from his Everton days and from his Tottenham days, which are his current days right now. So for Tottenham, usually he doesn't play because they have Kane in his position, and Kane is way better than him. And when he does play, like when he featured in the Champions League, he had a couple good games, but Tottenham being Tottenham, they are not the best team. So it also, passes through to him, and people will start discounting his abilities. But what a goal that was. That was a standout goal that he scored, and kudos to him.
I think people that don't watch international football, at least, or stay up to date with it, they're the ones that talk about this. It's a weird thing. Some players just have a knack for playing for their country. They play differently than they play for clubs. Richarlison has been phenomenal for Brazil for as long as I can remember. I don't think there's any player that's scoring as much as he's scoring. The kid scores, he's averaging a goal every 2 games. So it was a no-brainer for me. But I guess for people who watch Tottenham and Everton, then there was an issue. But he was good. Then the last story, I think this is a sad one. The guy probably giving Richarlison a run for his money. Valencia from Ecuador.
Man.
Kid sitting on 3 goals, tournament, top goal scorer already, playing for Ecuador. Of all teams, which they are playing well.
Well, Ecuador has always been a challenge at an international level. They always at the World Cup. They always, do something in the Copa America. So they are a decent side. But Valencia, what I noticed when he was playing against Qatar is he almost, to some level, is the kind of player like Hazard who draws fouls, a lot of fouls, and that makes him prone to injury. When Hazard was at Chelsea, he would be the most fouled every game, and every month, every season, he would be the most fouled. But he would never actually got injured to stay on the outskirts for a long time. Maybe those injuries caught up with him now that he is at Madrid and not playing so much. but the way that Valencia is playing, it draws a lot of knocks, and you know, this I was a real worry for me after the first game, because there, there were incidents in which I thought, oh, he's definitely going to go out, and he kept on playing. And now that this has happened, man, it's a sad scene because he's very crucial for that team.
He's like Jack Grealish for England, which taking me to England. There's been, debates on why Foden wasn't played today. What do you think about that against the US?
I think what actually ends up happening in these kinds of conversations is the what ifs of football, right? So people will always speculate that, oh, maybe if he had started Foden instead of Sterling, Foden could have done better. But there's no definitive way of knowing that. That being said, I do understand the criticism that is being levied against Southgate, particularly because he didn't bring on Foden later on. Granted, he did bring on Grealish for Sterling, which you might say maybe, they are different is a different profile of a player. But because maybe Kane was still in there, he wanted him to play those little 1-2s with him around the box, create opportunities, maybe even a penalty or something like that. It's hard to say, but I would have played. I would have put a double substitution of removing Saka and removing Sterling, and replace with Grealish and Foden at the same time, and maybe later on around the 80th minute remove Kane for Rashford, or keep Kane, put Rashford in there and remove one of the midfielders. But I feel like Southgate made a mistake when he put on Henderson.
Why do you think Henderson was a mistake?
I feel like most of Henderson's game is not really about, because it's at that moment of the game where you really need a goal, you need a ball carrier, you need a midfielder who will break lines all the time. But I feel like Henderson's main skill is ball retention, which I kind of understand. Maybe they wanted to keep the ball and keep up the pressure. He's good at that. But they already have Rice, who was in there, and he replaced Jude, I think.
Yeah.
Well, now you have Rice and Henderson, which is kind of the same profile of a player. I didn't see the point of doing all that.
He was being outrun. Playing the US national team, they play almost the same way that your Leeds are going to play. It's intensity all the way. And that midfield was really on top of England. And it didn't look like they would in any way be able to keep the US at bay for the next 10-20 minutes. I mean, you look at the subs that the US was also making with that kid Aronson. So I can understand him thinking, I need to be safe first before I talk about scoring. But I think other people were just annoyed because they were like, this is the US, you don't need to be safe.
I actually think that the United States made a couple of mistakes that could have actually cost them the points. For example, Reina, I feel like he should have gotten in much earlier than he did.
That's right? A crazy issue. I don't know why he's not playing.
Well, I mean, I kind of get it. I mean, he's not there. Okay, if Reina was going to play, he's either he's going to replace Ware or Pulisic, right? And you can't really say, okay, he's much better than either Ware or Pulisic. So I get why the coach might just say, okay, let me just play these ones, because he obviously knows them better. But putting Reina at 83 minutes, he's not good. He doesn't have enough time to do much. You put him at 60 minutes, so that he gets his 5 minutes of settling in the game and work his magic later.
Yeah, no, he got in. It was less than 10 minutes left. But yeah, man, it's what ifs all the way. What do we know? We just keep talking stuff like everybody else in the streets. But yeah, it was a nice explosive, day. I think other notable mentions to talk of was Iran and Wales. Iran was hitting the post left, right, and center. I don't know what was going on, but they at least ended up winning the game. It was a much deserved one.
They really deserve that win. They were incredible. Wales was really embarrassing. But you know what I'm hoping for? I hope that Wales beat England or draw against England. Because you see, as it stands right now, England might actually not make it past this group stage.
It's a very tight one right now because, yes, speaking of that, and if Iran also wins another game, it could be bad for the US then, obviously, then.
Well,
I mean,
Iran
it will be them out
against the US. Yeah, and they have a good chance to actually do it because they've shown against Wales that they are resilient.
Yeah,
that's for sure. And also, Wales might have underestimated them just from how England beat them. And now, see, and the United States and Iran, that's a 50-50.
It is.
And how these Welsh guys would feel about just the rivalry of the UK countries.
It could be a different game, yeah.
It could be a difficult game for England.
Yeah. Well, whatever happens, these Midwestern teams are here to play. Don't take them lightly. Argentina will tell you that. But yeah, that's our video for today. Make sure you like, you subscribe, and you comment and engage with the videos. Share these videos with your friends, and we will be getting another video, I guess, tomorrow. Keeping up with the World Cup. For today is the Fag, Nervo, and I don't know what your name would be, but
yeah, I'm still using my own name. I mean, Karaga is the one who has to change his name to mine.
Okay, so in the fake Karaga, we are the fake football bandits, and we are out. Thank you.